It finally happened. The Harris dynasty just exploded in front of millions. The same family that once screamed hustle, loyalty, and legacy is now trending under hashtag King Harris meltdown, and let's just say, it's uglier than a reality show reunion gone wrong. King Harris, the prince of ATL's royal hip-hop bloodline, didn't just lose his temper, he lost the internet. The meltdown was so raw, so chaotic, and so emotional. It made Kanye's "We Don't Got the Answers" rant look like a guided meditation. T.I., the self-proclaimed king of the South, looked like he wanted to crawl inside his own lyrics and disappear. Tiny? Heartbroken. The internet? Feeding on this mess like it's Thanksgiving dinner with no drama-free relatives. 1 minute, King's talking slick like he's untouchable. The next, he's breaking down in tears, screaming at the world that nobody understands him. Cameras flashing, comments flying, clout chasing on Max. This ain't just a tantrum, it's a full-on public implosion. Family pride versus pain, fame versus feelings. All collapsing on Instagram Live. Grab your popcorn. Because what went down between T.I., Tiny, and their son King might just be the biggest family meltdown hip-hop has ever seen. And trust me, this makes the Kardashians look like Sunday school. The meltdown didn't start with yelling. It started with silence. That eerie kind of silence that hangs right before everything collapses. King Harris sat on live, eyes glazed with anger and pain, and the whole internet could feel something snapping inside him. The heir to T.I. and Tiny's empire wasn't flexing chains or bragging this time. He was breaking and doing it in front of the world. The words came out fast, heavy, and soaked in emotion. "Everybody think I had it easy," he said, voice trembling between fury and heartbreak. "But y'all don't know what I've been through." You could hear years of pressure behind that sentence. The kind of pressure that comes from growing up under two shadows so big, even sunlight couldn't reach you. Fans started flooding the comments. Some felt bad for him, others called him spoiled. The internet, as usual, had no mercy. They turned his pain into memes before the tears even dried. Screenshots, edits, TikToks, you name it. Every second of that breakdown was being replayed on loop like a new season of love. And hip-hop, the heirs Edition T.I. and Tiny were blindsided. The same parents who once bragged about raising a strong young king were now watching their son crumble. Under his own name, T.I. The man who built an empire on discipline and dominance had no verse for this moment. And Tiny, the woman who held the family together through storms, looked broken in silence. Their baby boy wasn't rapping, wasn't hustling, wasn't smiling. He was hurting. King started calling out his parents directly, saying they don't understand him and only care about their image. The internet gasped like a live audience watching a plot twist they didn't see coming. You could feel the tension, that raw family wound exposed in front of millions. And King didn't hold back. He said fame felt like a cage, not a crown. He said every move he made was judged harder because of who his parents were. And honestly, that's the first time people really saw him as human, not just T.I.'s son. The meltdown went from emotional to explosive. He slammed the phone, cursed mid-sentence, and started crying. Not quiet tears, full-on shaking, voice cracking, nose running, the whole thing. This wasn't a performance. This was a public breakdown of a young man drowning in expectation. And somewhere in that chaos, you could see a reflection of every child who ever tried to prove they're more than their last name. Tiny tried calling him mid-live, but he ignored it. He wasn't ready for comfort. He was in war mode against his own legacy. "I ain't no little boy," he shouted. "Y'all don't know what it's like to be me." The internet froze. That line became the headline of every blog within hours. Screenshots went viral. Clips hit millions of views. Fans were quoting him like poetry. "Y'all don't know what it's like to be me." Became the new anthem of Gen Z rebellion. By the time the livestream ended, chaos had already escaped the screen. The blogs posted, "King Harris melts down on live. T.I. and Tiny respond to family drama," and "Harris household in crisis." It wasn't just gossip anymore. It was digital history, the fall of hip-hop royalty, one tear at a time. T.I. didn't respond right away. You could feel his silence shaking the internet harder than any statement could. This was a man known for control, for commanding respect in every room. Now, his own son had gone rogue in front of millions, turning the family name into a trending hashtag. Behind the scenes, People close to the family said the tension had been building for months. King felt misunderstood. He wanted to be seen as his own man, not just a reflection of his father's hustle or his mother's fame. But when you grow up in a house built on cameras, concerts, and critics, peace is a luxury you can't afford, and here's where it gets dark. Some fans didn't just laugh, they weaponized it. Old clips of King acting out resurfaced. Videos of him arguing, showing attitude, even one of him in a heated argument in public. The narrative flipped fast. The same people calling him real one day were calling him ungrateful the next. Social media doesn't forgive, it just scrolls to the next disaster. T.I. eventually broke his silence with a short, stern message. Family business ain't for the public. But it was too late. The public had already moved in like squatters. Everyone had an opinion, and no one wanted the truth. They wanted the drama. Tiny tried to calm things down, posting something soft and motherly, pray for peace in all families. But even that got twisted. Commenters accused her of hiding the truth. Others said she's protecting image over emotion. It was a circus of speculation, and no one could stop it. King didn't apologize. Not once. He went quiet, but his silence screamed louder than his words ever did. You could tell he was done pretending. The boy who once lived under luxury was now buried under judgment. And just like that, one emotional outburst turned into a family implosion. The Harris household, the same one that built an empire on strength, loyalty, and unity, was now being dissected by strangers on TikTok. Because when fame becomes family, and family becomes content, even love starts looking like a PR move. And in that moment, it became painfully clear. King Harris wasn't just fighting his parents. He was fighting the curse of fame itself. By the next morning, the meltdown had mutated into a media storm. Every gossip page, podcast, and reaction channel had their thumbnails ready. Headlines screamed, T.I. and Tiny lose control. King Harris breakdown exposes family secrets. It wasn't just viral, it was viral with flames. The memes were merciless. One showed King Harris yelling into the camera with the caption, "When your dad drops more lectures than albums." Another had T.I. sitting at a therapist's office saying, "My kid went platinum in drama." The internet didn't care who was hurting. They cared about who was trending. T.I. tried to clean up the mess, the way all celebrities do, through a carefully worded clarification that made everything worse. He said, "We love our son, but he's still learning." That line alone sent King's fans into chaos. Learning what? To be quiet? To hide emotions? The man meant damage control. Instead, he poured gasoline on an inferno. Tiny, ever the peacemaker, posted a story saying, "Family goes through storms, but love always wins." Sweet, right? Not when the internet's dissecting it like it's a court transcript. Commenters were writing essays. That sounds like she's covering for something. Why storms, though? That's plural. Every emoji she used turned into conspiracy evidence. Meanwhile, King wasn't saying a word, and that silence was the loudest move of all. Fans started comparing him to other celebrity kids who'd rebelled. Jaden Smith's "I'm not a normal kid." Willow's "I'm misunderstood." Even Blueface's family drama got dragged into the mix. King wasn't just a trending topic. He'd become the new poster child for rich kid rebellion. Podcasts started breaking down his meltdown like college professors. "This is deeper than clout," one said. "This is trauma passed through fame." Another podcaster laughed and said, "Nah, this is just a rapper's kid realizing Instagram pays better than therapy." Either way, the story had legs. Every take added fuel. Every reaction made the meltdown bigger. By midweek, T.I. had had enough. He went live looking calm but with that deadly dad energy. He said, "I raised my son to be a man. But being a man means handling your emotions, not broadcasting them." The comments went insane. Some praised him for standing firm. Others said he was emotionally tone deaf. And just like that, the narrative flipped again. Now the debate wasn't about King's meltdown. It was about T.I.'s parenting. One viral comment summed it up perfectly. T.I. raised a king but forgot the crown comes with pressure. The internet loved that. It started trending. Even celebrities chimed in. One R&B singer tweeted, "Parents can't control emotions, but they can control empathy." Another rapper said, "King just showing what half these celebrity kids feel but can't say." And then came the edit wars. TikTok flooded with emotional compilations of King's live, set to sad piano music. Titles like "The Price of Fame" and "The Pain Behind the Diamonds" filled the For You page. The same people laughing at him 2 days ago were now posting tear emojis. The internet's sympathy flips faster than a coin, but not everyone was sentimental. Some influencers went in for the kill. "Bro crying in a mansion," one said. Try being broke. It was cold, but it got views. Because that's what social media feeds on, not truth, but emotion. Whether it's pity or hate, as long as people care, the numbers climb. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, sources said T.I. and Tiny were arguing about how to handle it. Tiny wanted to protect her son's mental state. T.I. wanted to protect the brand. "We built something from nothing," he allegedly told a friend. "We not letting no internet ruin it." But the thing is, the internet already had. Once something goes viral, it's no longer yours, it's public property. Then another bomb dropped. A clip surfaced of King arguing with a friend at a gas station, filmed weeks before the meltdown. He's shouting, talking about being tired of fake family. It didn't matter when it was filmed. The blogs used it like it happened yesterday. King Harris was breaking before the breakdown. One outlet wrote, "T.I. reportedly told his team, delete that off the internet." But you can't delete from a world that screens records faster than the FBI. The clip hit Twitter, then Reddit, then TikTok. By the time it made it back to YouTube, it was already stitched with dramatic music and titles like "Proof King was crying for help." Tiny finally broke her silence in a quiet, emotional way. She said, "My son's not perfect, but he's mine." And sometimes people forget celebrities got hearts too. For a brief moment, the tone shifted. People softened. Some even apologized in comments. But only for a second. Because 5 minutes later, a podcast host said, "Sounds like she's blaming fame for bad behavior." Back to chaos. This story was no longer about one family. It had become a reflection of every broken relationship between fame and childhood. People started debating, is clout the new curse? Can you even raise normal kids when your whole life is content? Everyone had a think piece, but no one had an answer. And King? He stayed off social media, but fans swore they saw him out with friends, looking calmer. Still, the damage was done. He couldn't walk into a restaurant without someone whispering, "That's the meltdown kid." Fame has no mercy. It gives you spotlight, but burns you in it too. What made the situation so powerful and painful was how real it felt. It wasn't scripted reality TV. It wasn't an interview. It was a kid falling apart live, and the world choosing to watch instead of help. Because in 2025, breakdowns aren't tragedies, they're content. And that's the irony. King Harris went viral for being human. The moment he stopped acting like a star, he became one again, but this time, for all the wrong reasons. T.I. and Tiny built their empire on music, loyalty, and image. But now, their legacy was being rewritten one meme at a time. Because no matter how many Grammys you win, no family is safe from the algorithm, and in that silence after the chaos, one truth lingered: fame gave them everything except peace. By the weekend, the Harris empire looked like a mansion built on cracked marble, still beautiful on the outside. But you could hear the walls shaking from inside. The meltdown wasn't a moment anymore. It had become a movement. Everyone had a theory, everyone had an opinion, and no one was holding back. Clips of King's breakdown were now being used in think piece documentaries. Titles like "The Pressure of Being Famous Before," "You're Ready," and "The Downfall of Hip-Hop Royalty" were pulling millions of views. People were turning his pain into playlists, podcasts, and profit. King Harris had accidentally become a case study in the dangers of public upbringing. And T.I.? The man who once ran Atlanta like a general was now trying to rebuild his family image brick by brick. Every time he stepped out, the cameras followed him like vultures. Reporters shouting questions, microphones in his face, asking if he'd lost control of his household. You could see it in his eyes, the fury of a man watching his legacy being dissected like a rumor. Tiny was quieter. She wasn't online as much, but when she was spotted, she looked tired, the kind of tired that doesn't come from lack of sleep, but from holding a family together that's constantly breaking in public. She told a close friend in an interview, "We just want peace, but peace don't trend." That line cut through the noise like a knife. It was poetic, painful, and brutally true. Meanwhile, King's silence was the loudest thing on the internet. He hadn't posted, tweeted, or gone live in days, but every gossip outlet swore they had exclusive updates. Some said he'd left Atlanta. Others said he was in therapy. One blog even claimed he was working on music inspired by the breakdown. Whether true or not, the myth grew bigger than the man. The internet is cruel like that. It doesn't wait for healing, it monetizes pain. And the Harris family was now the hottest topic in the celebrity algorithm. Podcasts titled "Where Did T.I. Go Wrong?" and Tiny's silent tears hit top trending lists. Reaction channels are breaking down every word, every gesture, every rumor. People didn't want answers, they wanted aftermath. Then came the twist no one saw coming. A leaked clip surfaced showing T.I. talking to King privately at a restaurant. You could hear parts of it through the noise, T.I. saying, "You my son before you my problem," and King replying, "Then why you treat me like one?" The internet went feral. The clip spread faster than wildfire. Fans picked sides instantly, some praising King for standing his ground, others defending T.I. for being an old-school father in a modern world. That moment became the family's new breaking point. For the first time, you could see it, the generational divide, the pain of trying to raise a son in the public eye, and the humiliation of having your most private wounds turned into viral soundbites. It was no longer about fame, it was about survival. Even A-list celebrities started chiming in. 50 Cent dropped a shady Instagram caption saying, "See, this what happened when your kid think he grown before his time." Snoop Dogg, on the other hand, defended King, writing, "These kids grow up under pressure we can't even imagine. Show love, not judgment." The internet loved it. Every comment turned into a headline. Every emoji became news. Meanwhile, fans flooded King's old posts with messages. Some supportive, "We got you, bro. Stay strong." Others cruel, "You had it all and still cried?" Weak. It was a public therapy session with no therapist. Just millions of spectators feeding on emotion. T.I. finally addressed it one last time in a calm, sharp video that felt more like a sermon than a statement. He said, "Family don't quit on each other. We gonna handle ours in real life, not online." It was short, cold, and surgical. The message was clear. The King of the South was done playing social media chess. Tiny reposted it with a single heart emoji, and that small symbol said more than words ever could. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't closure. It was a signal the storm had passed, but the sky was still gray. By the end of the week, hashtag King Harris trended again, but this time it was fans posting throwbacks of him smiling, rapping, performing. The tide was turning from mockery to empathy. People began realizing what fame does to families, how it eats them alive from the inside. The meltdown was no longer just content. It was a mirror. Still, the internet never forgets. The memes remained. The clips stayed online. The digital scars don't heal, they just get buried under the next trending topic. King's final move came quietly. He posted a single message on his story. "I'm good. Just needed space." No music, no tears, no drama, just calm. It got shared 1,000,000 times. Sometimes silence speaks louder than a scream. The Harris family hasn't been the same since. Their brand, their unity, their image, all of it took a hit. But maybe that's what makes this story so human. Beneath the fame, beneath the filters, they were just a family trying to love each other in a world that profits from chaos. Because at the end of the day, fame gives you a mansion, but it doesn't give you peace. It gives you fans, but not forgiveness. And when your life becomes a show, even pain starts needing good lighting. So when T.I. and Tiny cried that night after their son's meltdown, it wasn't weakness. It was realization that the empire they built in public might have broken in private. And that's the cruelest truth of all. In a world obsessed with views, the only thing more viral than love is pain. And there it is. The meltdown that shook the Harris household and left the whole industry speechless. What started as an emotional live turned into a generational earthquake. T.I. and Tiny, two legends who built an empire off hustle, heart, and hip-hop, are now facing the hardest performance of their lives, keeping their family together when the cameras won't stop rolling. King Harris didn't just cry on live. He cracked open a truth most families hide, that fame doesn't heal pain, it hides it behind filters and captions. What we all watched wasn't weakness. It was honesty. Raw, messy, unedited honesty, and the internet had no idea what to do with it. So what's next for the Harris empire? Will King bounce back stronger? Will T.I. rebuild that father-son bond? Or will this become another chapter in the growing book of celebrity breakdowns? You already know around here, peace is temporary, and drama is forever. If you're still glued to the saga like it's your favorite Netflix series, do what real trend watchers do. Smash that like button like King smashed that like button. Drop a comment with your wildest theory. Do you think T.I. handled it right, or did King finally say what everyone else is too scared to admit? And don't forget to subscribe, because here at Trend Tattle, we don't just spill tea, we pour the whole kettle with extra heat and a splash of chaos. Stay tuned, because in this world of fame, feelings, and family feuds, today's meltdown is just tomorrow's meme waiting to happen. This is Trend Tattle, where truth trends, and scandals never sleep.